hello one and all. Welcome to another episode of Elvis, the Ultimate Fan Channel. And welcome to a very wet Ireland as well. No sunburn this week. More likely to be rust, actually. I hope I find you well. Yes, welcome to Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel. I hope I find you well. And let's get down to the meat of this live stream, podcast, whatever you want to call it. Podcast. Lisa-Marie book cover. Yes. You've all seen it by now, but I'm going to put it up. And there it is. Okay. Elvis's daughter, Lisa-Marie Presley, will have her vulnerable posthumous autobiography published later this year, and now the title and cover have been revealed by Elvis's granddaughter, Riley Keough. Lisa-Marie first asked Riley to help her finish her memoir in 2022. And Lisa died in January 2023. She was left with the daunting task of how best to complete the book. Thankfully, Lisa had recorded her story on various tapes. Riley listened to stories from her mother's life in her own voice, such as her smashing golf carts at her childhood home of Graceland, Lisa's long relationship with Riley's father, musician Danny Keough, and her marriage to Michael Jackson. She also spoke of the more difficult moments of her life, losing her father, Elvis, in 1977, moving to Los Angeles with her mother, Priscilla, and her experiences with addiction and grief. No doubt her story will have plenty of highs, too, amid the difficulties of fame and the tragedy of her son Benjamin's death at just 27. So, as you can see, this week the cover has been unveiled. The posthumous autobiography is called From Here to the Great Unknown. A few years ago, Lisa recorded a virtual duet with Elvis on the song Where No One Stands Alone, which features the lyrics, Come Here to the Great Unknown. So that's where that title comes from. Elvis's estate said Graceland is excited to announce that fans who pre-order their copy of the memoir through shopgraceland.com will receive a lithograph autographed by Riley, special lithograph image to be revealed soon. And From Here to the Great Unknown will be published on October the 15th and available wherever books are sold. The book will also be available in an audio format narrated by Riley. Now, these are some of the things that we've gleaned from the press releases over the last week or so. And 270 pages. Oh, before I just want to preface what I'm going to say here now, because people might think I'm knocking the book or I'm not looking forward to it. I am not knocking the book, and I am looking forward to reading it. However, I'm perplexed to think that she's going to get all this in 270 pages. How can you cover your life being the only daughter of arguably the world's most famous person in only 270 pages? I'll say that again, 270 pages. That is a very, very short book, I think, anyway. Unless, of course, the typeface and the font is extremely small, which I don't think it's going to be. I have been told, I cannot reveal where I heard this and who told me this, but I have been told that approximately 100 pages of material have been taken out. Now, that might just be normal editing. Now, I don't know whether this was before or after Lisa-Marie's death, and as I say, it could just be editing. So, but there's 370 pages down to 270. The cover. Now, have a look at the cover. Does it work for you? Or do you think the choice of photo and particularly the layout is poor? The half of Elvis's face missing, and it's not that like when you open it up you're going to see the rest of Elvis's face, because his face is the opposite way to the opposite side to the spine. So even if his face was going around the spine, around the back of the book, he's the wrong side. So you're not going to see any more of Elvis's face. And what about the choice of photo too? Why choose a photo that includes Priscilla just to crop her out? That's another one. Again, I'm not pro or anti Priscilla. I'm just making a point here. Why choose a photo that includes Priscilla just to crop her out? Or is there a message in this cover? that's is somebody's trying to send out a message to either Priscilla or the rest of the world, the Elvis world, or am I just overthinking this? There are more suitable photos of Elvis and Lisa that were taken that day, and we are going to go and say stand by, Leon, because I'm going to come to you now. Hi, Leon.
How you doing, Steve?
Hey, welcome back.
Hi, mate. How you doing? All right.
It's been a long time.
How about a week, eh?
Yeah. So where do we start? What do you think about the book?
Right, the book. Right, let's look at this logic. Let's look at this with a bit of logic here.
I can always rely on you to do that.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, it's probably been an editorial decision, right?
Okay.
Secondly, if there's a message, who's it directed at, and who will know about the message? There's no point having a message out if nobody's going to know what the message is, apart from Elvis fans, because this book is supposed to appeal to far more than just Elvis fans.
Yes.
Secondly, the fact that Elvis isn't completely in the picture, well, remember, the book's not about Elvis. The book's about Lisa.
Very, very good point. I never even thought of that till now.
Although there will be a fair bit devoted to her relationship with her dad before he died, the majority of the book, because of the age that Lisa was when Elvis died, the majority of the book will be about stuff other than Elvis. And the book itself will never die on the contents of what's in it, not by the cover.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You might be overthinking it a little bit.
You think I'm overthinking? So why choose a photograph that contains Priscilla only to cut her out?
It's quite possibly it's quite possible that they just think the picture of Lisa is better.
Yes, I see what you mean. I mean, you saw the photographs I showed there before I opened the lines, yeah?
Photographs.
Yeah.
I mean, as fans, we all know those photographs.
Mm-hmm.
But if anybody who's not a fan who's going to buy the book, remember, there'll be people who like Nicolas Cage will buy the book, people like Michael Jackson will buy the book.
Oh, yes.
So it's not just about, we're looking at it from an Elvis fan's perspective, but it's not necessary, it's not just aimed at us.
Yeah.
It's aimed at a far wider audience than that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then once the critics read it and how their reviews are, then that the readership could expand even further.
Do you think that people will realise where that From Here to the Great Unknown comes from? The average fan probably won't realise that that's from, the duet that they rang. Yeah, they sang.
Yeah, probably not. But titles tend to be what they are. I mean, the titles tend to be personal to the person who's either written the book or the biography of who they're about. So, I mean, let's be honest. If you looked at Peter Guralnick's biographies, Last Train to Memphis or Careless Love,
mm-hmm.
Nobody, unless you're an Elvis fan, would know what they meant.
No, that's true. That's true. They wouldn't. Yeah.
So, but listen, we'll see what the contents of the book are, and then
is that what you voted? You voted, I'm sure. Unsure. Let's.
No, I didn't. I think we're overthinking. I do think we're overthinking it.
Right. That's fair enough.
I do think we're over, because I mean, I don't think that the editorial decision will have been taken just to have honestly to have a good cover. I don't think, because if you're going to try and put a message on that and it's going to be detrimental to the sales of the book, then it defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
People need to read the book in order to get the message.
Yes. Now, do you think that 270 pages sounds a little bit short?
Depends what's in the 270 pages.
Yeah, if she cuts out all the the superfluous stuff and just gets straight to the point, then I suppose 270 isn't that short after all.
No, it could be two. If it's 207, I mean, sometimes less is more.
Yeah, that's sure. Yeah, I would love to have known what was in the 100 pages that's been cut out, but it just could be little bits here and there that add up to 100 pages.
It could be.
Yeah,
most certainly could be. But just a wee note on the Promised Land album.
Oh yeah.
I agree with what Brent said earlier. She deserves to be far better known out with the Elvis fan base than it is, but it is hostage and a victim to the RCA marketing strategy in the 70s from Elvis's album. Virtually no publicity, and Elvis and the Colonel have got to take a little bit of blame for that themselves as well, because Elvis, remember, didn't do talk shows, didn't do these circuits. So if Elvis maybe did the talk shows and promoted it a bit more, I reckon it'd have been an awful lot higher than number 47.
Yeah, and you know something else that always perplexes me as well is why did they use so many concert photographs on studio albums?
Well, honestly, it's a real bugbear of mine,
Yeah.
Steve, because, I mean, let's be honest, very few of the actual album covers have any relation at all to the contents of the album.
Yeah. It's
That doesn't help when the non-Elvis buying public go to buy an album. Just look, it's just another one of those. They're all those Elvis albums are all the same now.
yeah.
At least with Elvis, that's the way it is. That album cover is unbelievably good.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense that what they're showing on that album cover.
It does, but it also has Elvis in a pose of contemplation. The fact that it's a black and white photograph as well just adds to the atmosphere of that.
Yeah.
But as Dylan said as well, Promised Land certainly has the best of the Stax material. And remember, there are 4 songs from that album that Elvis took on stage with him. More than any other of the albums that came out of the Stax sessions.
Yeah.
Promised Land, Help Me.
If you talk in your sleep.
If you talk in your sleep.
Yeah.
And of course, it's Midnight. So that in itself speaks volumes. But I think it deserves to be an awful lot better known than it is, Steve. But also, just before I go, if you remember, you mentioned that Michael was on the chat as well.
Yes.
His latest episode of Top of the Hops has just dropped, and I kind of mentioned it last week when we spoke as well that it was himself and him that did our top 5 album opening tracks. So support Michael's channel and go over there and have a wee listen, leave a comment, and like and subscribe.
100% agree with you. It was gratifying actually to see Michael on the chat. I was very pleased to see him, I must admit. Okay, Leon, as always, a great call, and you've made me think. You might even have changed my mind a little bit.
Well, listen, it's only a point of view. It doesn't mean I'm right.
Exactly.
It's just my own personal. I mean, listen, the bottom line is we have to remember that all opinions are valid and none are final. So
that's correct. Well said. Cheers. Okay.
Okay, I'll see you soon.
Bye. Right, so that was Leon, and yeah, I mean, he's right. Maybe I've taken my eye off the ball a little bit here, and thinking that, look, the cover, they're cutting Elvis out, they're cutting Priscilla out. Steve, this book is about Lisa-Marie Presley. It's not all about Elvis. It's not always about Elvis. Let's wait and see. The 270 pages, I'm still a little bit unsure about. But then again, Leon says, yeah, but it depends what's in those 270 pages. They could be jam-packed full of information and none of these superfluous that just to fill it out. So stand by, Mark, because I'm going to say I'm coming to you now. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Steve. How you doing?
Hiya. How's things? How did it go last night? You were live last night, weren't you?
Yeah, live last night. Yeah, doing the gig. Yeah, it went well, mate. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. All good.
What do you want to say?
Just about the book. Yeah. The cover's a bit strange. I'd have liked to just a whole picture of Lisa herself on the front.
Yeah.
Because it is about Lisa, as a lot of the other callers have said. It's not going to be all about her dad. It's going to be about her life. And I know a lot of people, like the last caller said, they're going to be buying it because they want to hear about Nicolas Cage and Michael Jackson. But you consider she wasn't with Nicolas Cage for that long, and she wasn't really with Michael Jackson for that long. And according to Priscilla, she never even...
Oh, we've unfortunately lost Mark.
I don't think there's...
So just repeat that last bit again there, Mark.
Yeah, I just think like the people are talking about, wanting to know about Nicolas Cage and Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
she wasn't with them for that long yet anyway. And Priscilla, she wasn't around Michael Jackson at all. He was never around her. So
yeah,
I would have thought there'd be lots of stories to tell. It's about her life and everything. The cover. It'd be nice to have a great shot of her because she was a beautiful lady.
Yes, maybe a more modern photograph. Sort of middle-aged, if you like, sort of thing.
Yeah, like the ones she had for her album covers, and things like that. Maybe a family picture on the back. As like you were overthinking, like a few people, you just don't know, do you? She did have her ups and downs with Priscilla.
Yeah.
She did fall out with Priscilla. I don't know what the relationship was really like at the end of her life. It seems strange that it's cutting out Elvis's face. It's to do that book cover. If they did want to cut out Priscilla, well, at least put her dad in because she loved her dad, didn't she?
Yeah. And there were so many, better photographs taken that day. It's a bit perplexing, really. I mean, and it's just there's lots of photographs of just him and her. Why put Priscilla into a photograph just to have her, cut her out?
Yeah, it is strange. I would have just picked one where it's just Elvis and Lisa to give her. There is some shots of them to give her playing around Iceland, with the holding hands and going down the steps. As a young girl, and you wouldn't even be thinking about putting Priscilla in the shot. If they wanted to do a family shot, they could have put one, at the back cover or a small with pictures and stuff. But
we don't know what's on the back cover yet, so that'll be interesting. And of course, it will probably include photographs inside as well, so we don't know what's included inside either. So, what did you vote on the poll?
I did vote that there might be a message behind it because I don't know until you open the book and you read it.
Yeah,
we won't know. But I just find it a bit strange for the front cover myself. But I'm not overthinking it, but it's. I'm agreeing with you, like in a sense as well. Why do that? Did Lisa, before she died, was there any plans that she's, about the cover?
Yeah, well, this is it. You see, we don't know actually. I mean, Riley might tell us later or near the time, but we don't know who picked that cover.
Yeah, and was there any risk between her and Priscilla with Riley? You've heard that there was, and you heard that there wasn't. You got Priscilla's point of view, but over the years, Priscilla has changed the story about quite a lot of things, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Regarding things, so I don't know, but the pages as well.
Yeah, 270.
Yeah, it's enough. I suppose it's like anything. You don't put everything in someone's book. All the books about Elvis over the years haven't got everything about his life in it and what he did, because you go on for books and books, couldn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be enough in there. I'm not sure they'll probably, when we read it, we'll look back, they didn't mention this, they didn't mention that.
I'm wondering, will we be surprised? Will there be more about Michael Jackson and will there be more about Nicolas Cage and Danny Keogh than there is actually about Elvis himself? We might find out quite surprising that there won't be that much about Elvis. That's why, only half his face is shown.
Yeah, because obviously being a young girl, and obviously that, and when Elvis died, she was only 9, and it's quite hard. Obviously, she probably remembers the last couple of years of his life more than anything, from 7 till 9.
Yeah,
but she's had to cope with everything, after it, and it's could she remember everything as a young girl?
Well, this is it. Of course, he was away a lot as well, wasn't he? Working, so yeah.
I'm sure she would remember the last times, because in the last time she was at Graceland and all.
Yeah,
she probably remembers more the heartache at the end than the times that she had as a young girl, which she enjoyed herself. But she might have forgot a few of these things now. But always remembers that tragic end because she was there.
Yeah, I mean, if she does cover August the 16th, I'd say it'll probably be a very harrowing read. That part. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. And I've just got to say, on to the Miss Land, a great album. I love all the tracks, and I've seen quite a few of them songs off that album. I think it's a great. It's
an underrated album, actually, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it's like Elvis Today was a great album.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they're both great albums, and I agree with you. Why they did all the concert shots on all the albums, it spoiled it really in a way, But there was all shots that Ed Bonya took, so it was like a free shot, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, see, the thing is, they're all great shots, but I'm unclear why they had to use them for studio albums.
Yeah, that's it. I agree with the last caller with Elvis. That's the way it is. That's a great cover, and I think Elvis Country was a great cover showing.
That's right. On stage was another good cover.
On stage was another good one as well, and possibly Moody Blue was quite a good cover as well.
Yeah,
that star above his. He's in concert, but it's the star on the cover.
Yeah,
the title. That seemed to go well, but the rest of them was concert shots. Yeah, they're all good, but didn't quite tie up with the.
With the material
album and all that. It just seems to be. They could have made that a bit better, but yeah.
Alrighty.
The flow. It's a shame, really, but yeah.
Okay.
Cheers.
Thanks, Mark. All the best. Bye bye. Now, yes. I'm looking at the picture of the cover now, and it came to my sort of while Mark was talking. There doesn't seem to be any sort of focal point. You know how most photographs have a focal point. So maybe this is the idea of this cover. There isn't a focal point because dead center of the book cover is Elvis's shirt lapel. Or whatever you want to call that, the collar and then the shirt going down. That's slap bang in the middle of the book cover. Elvis's face is off to the right and Lisa is well off to the left. So, that could be another sort of message that, it's half about Elvis and all about Lisa-Marie. So we're only sort of going to be seeing half of the Elvis story. We're only going to be hearing half of the Elvis story. I don't know. I know somebody that is going to have a very, very good take on this, and that's Priscilla. And I'm going to go to Priscilla now. Hi, Priscilla.
Hey, Steve, my boy. How are you?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah. Interesting topic.
Were you happy to see this released during the week? Yeah.
Oh, sure, Steve, I've been waiting for this my whole life.
Yeah, exactly.
I want that sit-down conversation with Lisa-Marie.
Yeah.
That's what I want. And I'm so glad and so grateful that Riley did take up the mantle and that this is coming. Lots of the points that I was going to make have been made by the other callers.
That's okay.
And probably more eloquently than I will. But I have waited for this, and I'm so glad it's coming. And I think we should, I do think you're overthinking it, Steve.
Yeah, okay.
I think all covers are thought about. And, if you look at the makeup of this cover, okay, we are only seeing less than half of Elvis's face, and we still know it's Elvis.
Yeah.
So will the rest of the world.
Yes.
Because that half is still the most recognizable human being that we've had the wondrous, joyous occasion of walking the planet.
Yeah.
It's also a very recognizable set of photographs that were taken.
Mm-hmm.
Even non-Elvis fans will, be familiar with that set of images.
Yeah. I mean,
that. Yeah, go ahead.
The question I keep coming back to this though. Why choose a photograph, including Priscilla, just to cut her out?
Well, I think I don't know, was it Leon or Mark said it's actually a good picture of Lisa-Marie. It's actually a very recognizable image of Lisa-Marie.
Yeah, she looks very thoughtful in it.
Yes, I mean, I also think that this is reminiscent for me. Past week has been reminiscent for me of the conspiracy theories that, is he dead? Does he live in Graceland? Is he hiding in the back shed? Is he in the stables? Is there a hidden message? Are they trying to talk to aliens? Really? I don't know. I think we as Elvis fans are so hungry and so eager and want so much more than we can actually have that sometimes we do overthink it, or sometimes we do overanalyze.
Yeah, I mean, Leon was quite correct. He said, it's not all about Elvis, and maybe the reason why they're only showing half his face is just because you're not gonna. It's not going to be all about Elvis. You're only going to see half of Elvis. You're only going to hear half this book.
Memoir.
Yeah, this book is only half about Elvis. It's also about Lisa. It's about Danny Keogh. It's about Michael Jackson. It's about Nick Cage.
Well, it's about Lisa's life, and all of those things mashed together formed the life that she lived. And it's also very important to remember, and I think, Steve, we do a disservice to Lisa-Marie if we don't continue to reinforce and advocate. Yes, Elvis was her father. Yes, she was a staunch advocate for him and his memory, but she did have a huge passion for music herself. She did always try to be her own person and live her own identity. So I think it's unfair of us to assume that this memoir is Elvis, because it's not. It's Lisa-Marie, and I think that's what we need to keep focused. I think that she did spend her whole life trying to carve out her own identity and trying to come out from the shadow. I mean, her music career could have been so much more extensive, except that she never felt that she could.
Yeah.
Or she his coattails or whatever, people may have judged her because of him, and she may have always. I know that down through the years she felt that it weighed heavily on her. So I think that we should be very happy that we're getting this insight into Lisa-Marie, and that Riley has taken up the mantle, and that Lisa-Marie had a lot of it on tape already.
Yeah.
And I'll echo something that Leon said, and it's a very important thing here. It's quality, not quantity.
Yeah, exactly. There could be 500 pages and just you'd be bored stiff, or there could be 270 riveting pages. Another thing, how they've the blurb has been mentioning Michael Jackson and Nicolas Cage, Danny Keogh. There was no mention of Michael Lockwood.
Let's talk about the war. Why don't we?
Yeah, I'm just wondering what we'll hear about Michael. I mean, he won't. Surely he won't be completely and utterly excluded from the book. Surely he won't be.
I doubt it entirely. But imagine if you walked down the street and said the name Nicolas Cage or Michael Jackson and Michael Lockwood, and you asked someone, who are they? Well, Nicolas Cage is an actor. Michael Jackson is a musician. I have no idea who Michael is.
Yeah, well, obviously, I mean, Michael is not as well known. Yeah, I mean, out of the two Michaels, he's not.
We know who he is. The general public, non-Elvis fans, will not. Or they'll have very little knowledge of him. And this is very clever marketing, Steve.
Yeah.
They didn't bring this book out for the good of our health, or so that I will finally get to read some of Lisa's own words and hear her story as much as I can from herself. They didn't bring that book out so that box could be ticked in my life, or your life for that matter, Steve. They brought that book out to make money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And marketing is key to that. And we spoke about it with regards to some of the images used on Elvis's album covers, or RCA's marketing tactics or lack thereof. I think they're not making the mistake now. So they've used a recognizable image of Lisa-Marie and her dad. It's caused conversation already.
Yes.
Because people are suddenly finding hidden meanings behind everything. It's a clever marketing ploy, and yes, of course, they're going to promote the things, because what they're going to want to do is have this book reach the biggest audience. And as Leon or one of the earlier callers said, whether it was Mark or Leon, I'm not entirely sure, it will appeal to those fans too, because they are as eager for information about Michael Jackson as we are about Elvis.
True.
Michael Jackson fans.
True. So you voted no, you're overthinking it, Steve. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Only because I do not want to go down that rabbit hole of the conspiracy theories and there's hidden meanings behind everything.
Yeah.
I just want to read her words.
Yeah. Well, we are going to get it October the 15th. It's not far away now.
No. Now I still haven't, would you believe, pre-ordered the Graceland version.
Right. The lithograph.
I'm torn because do I want to? Now, if that lithograph was Lisa-Marie, then maybe.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I'm still struck by Lisa-Marie's words that day in Graceland when she stood in front of all of us and she said that we were the only people that could get her out of her house these days.
Yes, that's right. That was quite a sad, poignant thing she said, wasn't it? You're the only people who I come out of my house for.
Yeah, and I just think, and I think that was the most honest, true. She gave of herself that day. And I still, I still go. I mean, the sad ending to that week was her, but she did give of herself, and she did it because we were Elvis fans.
Yeah.
And so I believe that this book will be cognizant and respectful to Elvis and his fans. But we must remember it's Lisa's memoir.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to have some discussion the following weeks after we've all read it, that's for sure. We'll all be back on here now talking about it.
Can you wait? Can you wait?
Hardly.
And I'm going to get the audiobook for sure to hear Riley.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty.
Anyway, thanks for listening.
Have a good week.
Okay, and you too, Steve.
All the best.
Take care, babes.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Priscilla. Bye-bye. Yes. So, no mention of Michael Lockwood in the blurb. It doesn't mean he doesn't appear in the book. I would be very, very surprised if Michael is not mentioned. I know there are issues going on at the moment, but he is Harper and Finlay's father. So, yes, no mention of Michael in the blurb as it's such. So thanks to all the callers. Absolutely great. And yes, I'm going to close the poll. Let's have a look. See what we got here. Okay. End poll. Right. And then I can go back to it and I can see that the results are in. Yes, definitely 42%. I'm unsure. Let's see what the book says. 39%. No, you're overthinking it. 18%. So only 18% thought I was overthinking it. That's a relief. Only slightly more people, though, thought that, yes, there is some sort of message in the cover. In fact, it's 3% difference. So, yeah, interesting result. Just yes, definitely is edging it. Okay.